Alrighty, so we got a weird video to do today.
Yes, we do. Very weird.
We got a wall right up in our face. Like, wait a minute, that's it? And yes, that was it today. So what we want to do today is we want to go over what Funko showed off to finish off the list. Mm-hmm. We will also go over we'll show you the list and basically what stores these will be shared with. And then we'll talk about what's the deal. Why are we only getting half the amount of pops that we usually are? So let's get started. Alrighty, first up, we're going to start off with Marvel. We're getting another Stan Lee cameo, this time the one from Iron Man 1, where he's in like his sort of like velvet robe or whatever, Hugh Hefner type robe. That's what we say. It's like very playboyish. Really cool. Actually, I think that's one of the coolest cameo pops because that was like his first one, wasn't that? It had to be, right?
So.
Iron Man 1.
I don't know. He's had so many cameos.
It has to be his first one. That was the first one, right? So I think that's cool, and I think that's a major pop for a lot of Marvel fans. Continuing with Marvel, got a couple more drops that were cool. A 10-inch Zombie the Thing, and a Dark Captain America. Now, the one I do want to point out the most, though, is the 10-inch Zombie thing. The design of this is awesome.
It's super cool. I want to see this one in person because I think the texture of it's going to be pretty epic.
Yeah, it just looks insane, right?
It does.
Definitely, I would say in my list so far for one of the coolest pops of 2020. Yeah. However, I think it's kind of a bummer that it's a 10-inch because the price of that will hinder people's or its collectability, I think.
Yeah, I think
I mean, you're
so
talking,
too.
I think a con one's like $40 or something.
They're
something
really
like that.
expensive.
So I would have probably just made this a normal size one or slightly bigger in a normal size box. But very cool. Very cool looking pop. Still continuing with Marvel, we get into some X-Men. Funko showed off a Nightcrawler sort of blasting through the time little puffs or whatever you want to call it. And a Wade Wilson Weapon 11. The Nightcrawler is very cool.
It's very cool. I love how it's very dynamic. I love the color of this one. Everything about this one is just so pretty. And
I love how he's sort of fading or phasing out in through the cloud. Yeah. And his pants are striped, so that together just looks really, really neat. I love this pop. The Wade Wilson, on the other hand, I don't know about the design of this one.
I like this one. I like it a lot. I mean, who doesn't like a shirtless Ryan Reynolds? So it's pretty awesome.
We saw like real pictures today online, and the body looked like a different color than the head. It looked like all kinds of mess to me. So I'm not sure what's going on with this. I mean, if you're an X-Men fan or you're a Wade Wilson Deadpool fan, you're probably going to want it. But little strange to me. Now, the Nightcrawler, though, I really wish they do him in the comic version because I'm a huge Nightcrawler. That was like one of my favorite characters when I was a kid in the animated series and in the comics and stuff. I just wish they do him in the comic version and not necessarily the movie stuff because I'm not collecting the movie stuff. But still a very, very neat pop.
Up next, Funko finally revealed the Harry Potter lineup, and we're getting one pop. And it's Harry at the World Cup. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense because we got the 3 from ECCC, and so it makes sense to have Harry from the World Cup, but it's also kind of like, can't we get something else from Harry Potter? But
Funko and Harry Potter line have always been some of the best Comic-Con pops because they always do some an obscure character, a strange character, a character that you would never see in a major lineup, right? This, on the other hand, is sort of a normal pop. It's still a cool pop. I don't think a lot of people are going to want it because it's got this big English hat on and it'll look cool with your Irish ones. But not very creative. I think production, something's going on in the background, I'm sure. One Harry Potter pop, there's no way.
No way. But I have a feeling we're going to get Ron at New York Comic Con in October just because it kind of goes all together. I mean, if we don't get Ron, it wouldn't make sense. So I'm assuming that one's coming.
I think you're right. You're probably right. But I think there was something in the background they couldn't get to manufacture.
I mean, I'm hoping so. Maybe we'll get it like in October.
Who knows, man?
Not at all.
We got to survive 2020
That's
first.
Right. And up next, Funko revealed from Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, we're getting Iron Bob. Now, I know you're pretty comfortable and happy with this one.
I like the movie.
I didn't really. I watched part of the movie and I was like, I'm gonna go giving kids a bath. This is kind of boring, so I stepped out.
I thought the movie was pretty good. I mean, it was a typical Kevin Smith movie, right?
Yeah.
Kind of okay if you need something to watch or whatever. But that was fun. At the end of the movie, you saw Iron Bob come in. It was a fun part at the end of the movie. So I enjoyed the movie, and I think this is a cool pop. If you're a Jay and Silent Bob fan, and just like we saw. I mean, the 2-pack last year was very popular. I can understand this being popular too. So I think this is a really neat Comic-Con pop. Unfortunately, though, I can kind of see with Comic-Con being canceled, this was probably gonna be a bigger deal. Like Kevin Smith might have been at the Comic-Con or like a Funko party.
Well, you know Kevin Smith's always at Comic-Con.
Yeah,
so...
I mean, this is probably gonna be something, right? Some cool. Maybe him and Jason Mewes are gonna be, in Comic-Con. And it's gonna be a big deal, and now it's just sort of another pop to come out, unfortunately.
And for all the Scott Pilgrim fans out there, we're getting Wallace with phone as a pop. So I mean, that's pretty cool. I know there are a lot of Scott Pilgrim fans out there in the world. So
Funko's still continuing the line. I mean, now we're getting into some crazy. We're getting in deep into it now, trying to find characters from making the pops, which is cool because I mean, I'm sure just if you collect like I do, where you really like to have strange or characters that wouldn't typically see. This is a cool one. I think this is a really neat pop to have. From Back to the Future, we got Marty looking at his watch. So pretty cool pop. I mean, it's boring, right? I mean, it's not something special that you would think, oh, that's a cool Comic-Con pop. I mean, it's Back to the Future. You could have so many just neat
you could have so many options.
Pops, right? This one has no style, no character, no creativity. It's just a scene and sort of robotic, right? But, Back to the Future fans are going to want something else to collect. However, I don't look at this as that's not good enough for a Comic-Con pop.
I agree.
Just personally. All right, up next, no idea what this is.
Nope, not at all.
Now, we might be out of the loop because we don't really play a lot of board games, but hey, maybe this is going on behind our back and this is like the biggest game in the world and we just aren't paying attention.
Maybe.
But Funko is doing from Critical Role Vex on Broom. So maybe this is big. Let us know down in the comments if this is something you guys play. Maybe this is bigger than we know. I'm not really sure. Yeah. But it's a decent looking pop.
I mean, it is. I think it probably would have been better suited for Gen Con instead of Comic Con.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it was a Gen Con pop and they needed to grab it and like, look, we need pops, man. We don't have enough manufactured.
True.
We'll take this one and put it in Comic Con. I don't know. But nonetheless, that's sort of a shocker. Maybe a good Comic-Con pop, though, because that's one that would never make it as a regular pop.
True.
Only during a Comic-Con, so it makes sense, I guess. And finally, a shocker.
Anchorman!
I wasn't expecting this one.
I spoiled it for you, sorry.
Thanks, man. The entire Anchorman lineup, basically.
I know, this is so cool. I'm sorry, I'm excited for this. I really like the Anchorman movie.
Yeah, so a few things here, right? Is this a pre-release exclusive? Is this just only Comic-Con? What is this? I've never seen him do a series like this before where it was just Comic-Con and done. Yeah. I mean, I look back at like the Powerpuff Girls a couple years ago where they were a pre-release. They brought them out and then they come out later. I saw no language anywhere that suggested this is a pre-release exclusive. So if you want this, you might need to get it. Now,
I mean, they usually put that on the sticker.
Yeah, right? That's what I thought, but I didn't see it. Now, something I'm very, very interested in is the Brian Fantana Pop. It's scented, guys.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
What in God's name is that going to smell like?
Nobody knows.
I mean, if you've seen the movie, we know all the things. What are you going to make that? It's got to smell like the most putrid thing. Who knows? But I'm very interested. I almost want to get that.
Patchouli or...
But we're not going to be able to like necessarily be in the stores possibly to get it. So, it's kind of one of those things. I got to buy it and find out what it smells like, I guess. So, but very cool. A lot of people are excited about this. I think, there's going to be people that maybe the Comic-Con wasn't that great for them, but they're definitely Anchorman fans.
Yeah.
So they're going to swoop up all these. Alrighty, so that was it.
That's it, guys.
That is all they revealed today because they also announced the shared list, the stores that these will be in around July 19th. We're not completely set on the date yet, but it will probably be that Friday. That would be my guess. If you guys do want to see the list, here it is. As you can see, all in there. A shocker, though, right away, if you guys have done this for years, you see that this is about half the amount that's typical in a San Diego Comic-Con. San Diego Comic-Con is usually large. There's a lot of pops here, and we are missing out on a lot of things this year because of this stupid virus. We're not going to have a Fun Days, I assume.
I assume we won't.
So that sucks. I mean, if you're a Funko fan, that's like one of the coolest things. So you might as well throw that out.
And you're always hunting, trying to find a live stream option of it too.
Probably not going to have the special Freddies. Throw that out of there.
Oh, you're ruining this.
And it's just a bummer. Now there are probably a few reasons here what's happening. First one being manufacturing. Obviously, our baby's here with us. The manufacturing is obviously going to be an issue. These usually take about 4 months to design all the way to print. And I'm sure some of these made it through because they were a little earlier, but maybe the ones that were, ready to go within the last few months were halted because of the virus. And a lot of these are manufactured in China, of course, so they weren't able to make it over here.
Yeah.
That coupled with a lot of these stores aren't even all the way open yet in some states.
Right, and some of them are facing financial hardships, bankruptcy, closing stores.
And maybe some of these stores don't want to take on the inventory because they don't feel comfortable right now about the economy and stuff. So those two things right there are pretty powerful. Now, I do know that Funko said that they're going to slow down manufacturing. Now, I didn't take that as they're going to slow down the amount of pops they're going to create as far as individual SKUs. I took it as they're shrinking the amount of the actual pop, the piece count.
I mean,
so if you're going to have, they're not going to make 20,000 of a specific pop, they're going to maybe shrink it down to 10,000.
Yeah. But it could be like when you do larger runs of something, you get a better price. So maybe
no doubt.
That's why they're doing this instead.
I mean, that's a possibility. Maybe they decide we're going to cut some series instead and make... But that would be bad, I think. I don't know. I really don't know what Funko's going to do.
I don't know.
Here. They're not in a great position when economies are totally shut down.
Yeah.
They're a type of company that could really feel that.
Yeah, I mean, plus look how many people they just recently laid off. So
yeah, I mean, that's another thing.
That's a big deal.
250 people out the door. I think all of them were social media, and there was a lot of them that were involved, but I mean, I think every social media person was taken out, unfortunately, and that means pretty much no communication. So I think a lot of us weren't expecting it to be 40-ish, pops or products or whatever. So we weren't prepared for this. So I think if somebody would have come out and said, "Hey, because of difficult times, we're only going to have about half of what we typically do,"
there wouldn't be so much backlash and disappointment in the community.
Or surprise.
For a warning. So.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's part of it. Like the surprise leads to the disappointment.
Yeah. Also, another thing, a lot of these movies, these summer budget, big blockbuster movies, were canceled or delayed, and because of that, Funko probably made some pops that were going to be involved in, I think Wonder Woman, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
They aren't going to be able to come out because it'll spoil the movie.
Right, or some of those movies went straight to streaming services like Disney Plus,
like
Frozen 2 and stuff like that, so... the hype of that isn't really there, so they may have just canceled that line altogether.
A lot of variables here that could cause what we're seeing here. I don't necessarily think, though, that it's Funko just toning down manufacturing. I don't see that, because that's never been a normal thing.
And it's not fiscally smart either to just be like, shut it all down, we're not going to make any money. Business wants to do that.
I just don't see any pops here being major draws to a Comic-Con.
I don't
these feel to me like extras, like scraps.
They seem
not
like
that they're
run
bad.
of the day ones.
Yeah, not that they're bad pops, because there are some really good ones here. They just don't feel like that's a Comic-Con pop. Some of those big draws.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of them here. One of them that apparently didn't make it to manufacturing that I'm disappointed about.
Comic book guy. Sorry, I stole that, but I'm so upset about that.
I wanted him so bad, and apparently he didn't make it. Hopefully he makes it in some form or fashion. Surely to God. Fingers crossed, because that would just make so much sense.
Just release them in October. It's fine. I'll be fine with that.
Yeah, maybe they hold off to New York Comic Con. The problem is, New York Comic Con can actually be worse, because since it is delayed 4 months, it's
going to be better. Let's be optimistic. It's going to be great.
Around 4 months in October, they might be trying to find things to bring out as Comic Con exclusives. So let's hope that's not the case. But all we can do is continue to be fans and continue to buy their product and hope that they can make it out of this.
Well, when you're a fan of anything, whether it be toys or a certain comic or anything, I know DC's having some issues potentially with comic books.
Comic book stories are having issues. Yeah. That's the problem. Yeah. So you're making crappy stories, people. That's what's wrong with you.
Well, I think, when you support something or you like something, you have to show that support financially. And without your financial support, a lot of these places are going to go under.
Yeah.
So we have to throw our money at things that we like, even if it's I'm not really caring about this. You have to keep supporting them through the tough times. It's a relationship, people.
Yeah, and we want Funko to get back on track so they can get some of those people they had to lay off back into.
Right. We want people to have their jobs back.
Yeah, no doubt. So again, a lot smaller, a lot of variables, like we said, I think that are causing this.
But you know what?
But still some good pops.
Even though it's smaller, it makes it easier to get the ones that you want, because you're okay, I don't have to focus on 7 pops. So? I can focus on the specific one I want.
You think so though? Because now you're dealing with the same amount of people, but smaller amount of pops. They might be like, well, I'm gonna get this then.
I'm gonna say that.
It might be worse. I don't know. And if they are shrinking manufacturing, we might see smaller numbers of individual pops.
That's true.
So if you want something, you might get it.
Burst in my bubble.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Alrighty, so that was it, guys. Let us know down below what your favorite pop or pops was that was revealed for San Diego Comic-Con. What are you most excited about, basically?
Yeah.
What are you most disappointed that we're not getting? Fun Days, Freddy's, maybe more pops. There's a lot in there. I'm
a little disappointed about Fun Days, because it's something that is a tradition, and not having that, and the potential of getting the Fun Days box and all that stuff.
It's just the whole thing, man. No real Comic-Con, no real excitement. We got to deal with this stupid world thing going on.
Do y'all know how much I miss IKEA? I'm so bored.
Enough, man, enough. It just sucks because this is usually an awesome time for a collector and especially a Funko fan. And we are dealing with all this crap. So anyways, let us know down below. We will have another video coming out after this, which will be sort of a fun video, but it won't make any sense because I did a video of if Conan Pops were to exist this year.
Yeah.
And since we were pretty sure they're not going to exist.
They're not happening. Yes,
we're going to make a video anyways of some cool
ones. This is what we want from Conan.
So anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Bye.